So then I went about getting investors, and this all happened as well in a month. I had unrealistic expectations. I thought I would get funding in 2 weeks. And it took me 4 weeks to get funding, which is really good, but I thought I was a massive failure at 3 weeks. I'm like, oh no, and I was under the covers crying, like, oh no, I'm never gonna get money for this company. But what was interesting is it was, again, through my network that I got all this investment. The first one who led my Series A, $6 million, was Gavin Teo. I knew him because he was a PM at Zynga. And while no one believed in VR at the time, especially not content, he told his bosses, like, hey, it doesn't matter if you even believe in what Maureen's doing, she's crazy, because I know she was at Zynga and she'll find a way to make you money, so just give her money. So it was really helpful that I worked at Zynga with Gavin. And then through the Taiwanese network, so Steve Chang was the founder of Tiburon, who makes all of EA Sports and Madden franchise. EA bought them. He introduced me to Phil Chen, who was the chief content officer of HTC and the person who created the HTC Vive. He introduced me to him because Phil Chen wanted to figure out how to bridge more Taiwanese Silicon Valley connections. We spoke, and then he liked what I was doing, introduced me to the CEO of HTC, and she immediately said, I want to give you money. So that was through that Taiwanese connection. Samsung was just at a dinner. I met Ajay Singh, who's the best VC ever, and you should all go seek funding from him. I sat next to him at a dinner. He just really impressed me, and he's like, all right, let's give me money. And then I know it's making it sound really easy. It's really awful. Fundraising was the worst experience of my life, other than getting broken up with. But it was still a difficult experience. But with the right connections and perseverance, you can do it too. And then Phil Chen eventually went to Horizons Venture, who is the biggest fund in China, along with Alibaba and Tencent. And so he introduced me to the head of the fund there as well. And then Mark Pincus was my old boss, and I was like, Mark, you owe me, Farmville, give me money. And so he also introduced me to Peter Thiel, and through other connections to Yoku. And for entertainment, we have Comcast Ventures, like I said, 20th Century Fox, Chernin, Peter Chernin. Advanceit is run by Sherry Redstone, the vice chairwoman of Paramount Viacom, and Evolution Media Capital, which is CAA and TPG. So, and SMG is the biggest media conglomerate in all of China, because China is where all entertainment's going, so you want to make sure to have access to that market. One thing you'll find interesting here is they teach you in business school not to go for strategics. You should go for financial institutions. I found that strategics have been incredibly helpful to me because I knew that VR was going to take forever. All these people going to pitch, VCs are like, oh, it's here, VR is here. I did the opposite thing. I said, VR is not here. VR is going to take forever. And because of that, I need an investor who's going to stay with me for the long term. Are you the one? Because you should be honored that I'm even talking to you, and you should be honored to give me money. So that's the attitude, by the way, you have to take when you're seeking funding. But the strategics were helpful because they were invested in VR themselves. So they cared about VR. They needed to succeed. So they need my content. So they can ride out the waves, the bumpy, the hype cycle, the Gartner hype cycle, trough of disillusionment, all that wave. And so they've provided a lot of help. And they know where things are going because they have all the data, right, for their headsets. They give me all that information. They tell me what their strategy is. They give me free technology, all that. So it's been actually quite helpful for me to have strategic investors.